All right, so this is going to be about the Hartford police shooting, which happened on January 6th. I mean, yeah, the Hartford police weren't the only ones involved, but it happened in Hartford. So I'm going to refer to it as another body at the hands of the Hartford police, public safety. So I was initially going to go to Ellington Street where it happened, but then I realized, wait, Will, you look very white. This isn't enough. You look very white. You're wearing Al Gore's tie pin. You look like Groucho Karl Marx, red as can be. Maybe your presence in Ellington would be disruptive to the community, particularly during Black History Month and winter in America. So I'm not going to do that there. So I'm walking around to get to the Hartford police station. So you got right behind me, you see, Dunkin' Donuts Park. Keep in mind all these symbols. So no. Oh, I quit about two years ago. I quit smoking cigarettes. I'm sorry, my man. So yeah, I mean I smoke weed, but I keep those lighters at home. You know what I mean? But listen, hold on one second. I'm gonna have to get to where I got to get to before I Well, ancient Indian burial ground. So, well, hold on one more second. Now again, you know me. I'm just trying to, be Hunter S. Thompson. Mofson over here, and not trying to be no snitch, but it's interesting how many drug dealers, drug addicts kind of just gravitate right around this public safety complex, And I don't see any safe injection centers around here. I don't see any healthcare. It's farther away down there. Shit, even Blue Hills, those beds they tried to get rid of. All I see is empty buildings and bail bondsmen and police have been infiltrated by white supremacists who don't actually, some who will do good. Again, hey, we got Jim Barrett. Well, aside from Jim Barrett, and some people who left the department. People aren't out here looking out for these people. They might not arrest them all the time because it's a hassle, but they'll shake them down. These are their informants. These are, they can, so they're not going to actually help them. If anything, their abuse helps with the system. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. And so I don't get distracted. I'm going to read the Hartford Current article. Now, as far as I know, now remember that? Remember, it's easy to forget because the news is erratic and, local journalism, even if they mean well, it can only cover so much and it's hard to follow the threads. So, it's from the Hartford Current. I actually really respect this journalist. I can say that unequivocally. Nicholas Rondanon. This is from January 8th. As far as I know, this is the last thing written about it. Maybe they did some work, but, you know how these investigations go, particularly the way this one is. There's a lot of hands, so a lot of plausible deniability. But here we go. New Haven State Attorney's Patrick J. Griffin has identified the Hartford man fatally shot by a New Britain police officer and an FBI agent, members of a federal task force serving a warrant Wednesday morning in Hartford. Benicio Vasquez, 34, suffered a number of gunshot wounds. Griffin wrote in a preliminary report released Friday in an apparent exchange of gunfire involving members of the FBI's Northern Connecticut Gang Task Force and Connecticut's Violent Crimes Task Force. Okay, pay attention to these details. These are very important. And most people, unfortunately, they don't actually bother reading news articles because there's a paywall. Even without the paywall, most people they'll read the headline, they'll look at the photo. They won't spend the 5-10 minutes they read the article. They'll spend maybe like an hour or two just arguing with people in the pantomime that they want in the comment threads. So yeah, Griffin also named one of the two task force members involved as Christopher Keeley, a New Britain police officer. The other task force member that fired their weapon was an FBI agent who was not named in Griffin's initial report. Griffin wrote that he was advised by federal authorities that the name of the FBI agent involved has not been authorized for public release. Keeley was among 5 New Britain police officers that fired their weapons in a shooting that killed 20-year-old Zoe Dodell and injuring 2 teens, Noah Young and Caleb Teasdale. And I think these 2 are still wrapped up in the court system. I haven't followed through, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were, so they could stay quiet about this. And this is why these things happen. This is just like in Wethersfield with Elusier, how he shot someone and got away. Pay attention. In a shooting that killed 20-year-old Zoe Dodell and injuring 2 teens in New Britain in 2017. Okay? My math's pretty bad, but I believe that's 4 or 5 years ago almost. They were later cleared of wrongdoing, okay? By, again, the names of these attorney generals and all of them, they may change. We'll read their reports. These are callous people who are never going to actually prosecute the police, no matter what, honestly. And I know that the Capitol, they passed some real strong laws they're trying to push forward, despite death threats and, Boogaloo boys wanting to kill them. But there's only so much they can do if the system itself is always going to be inherent and it's always corruptible. Nothing has really changed in the system, all right? So, New Britain police said in a news release Friday that Keeley, an 11-year-old veteran in the department, had been assigned to administrative duties pending the results of an internal investigation. Just like before, he'll be back. He'll kill again. Federal task force members were on Enfield Street with a federal warrant to take 33-year-old Brandon Spence into custody for violating the conditions of a supervisory release from federal prison weapons charge, according to Griffin. Let's see what really happened now. Let's see what the real deal, because the street ain't saying this. The street's saying something different. Y'all know what the street's saying, not this. Federal prosecutors said the violation stems from accusations that Spence shot someone on December 7th, about a block away from the task force shooting on Enfield Street. During the arrest, task force members came upon Vasquez about the same time they arrested Spence, and that's when the gunfire was exchanged, officials said. Law enforcement sources told The Current that Vasquez was in a vehicle with Spence and attempted to run from the task force members there to arrest Spence. Griffin did not detail what led up to the shooting, but said the events leading up to the shootout are a primary focus of the ongoing investigation. It remains unclear how Vasquez and Spence were connected, but officials said earlier this week that they are looking into any association. This is cold-blooded. Vasquez was on federal supervised release for weapons convictions at the time he was shot by task force members. Oh, how convenient. At least they drug up the history of the officer who shot him for once, The shooting unfolded about 9 a.m. Wednesday morning, sending residents out of their homes amid reports that bullets struck a gas line, witnesses said. Several smashed up SUVs sat in. Jesus Christ. Well, you heard enough. There's more details, but my phone is being weird, so I'm going to go off on a bit of an impromptu rant right now. Biometric identification services. A credit union used to be in here. I used to go here all the time. It was funny because, me. I've simmered down a bit. I'm trying to be a little bit more nice, and I try to say, the thin blue line murders and not, all cops are bastards. Even though, really, the police system bastardizes them all. The good ones that chewed out and spit out. This is history. So, I don't know if you remember this, but Hartford police, they shot Shamar Ogman. That's a name that even I almost forgot, all right? Ooh, this memorial, this is appropriate. So they shot Shamar Ogman. Now, it seemed like, oh, well, what else were they going to do? They could have done a lot of options. If we had mental health issues, if we had non-violent, non-lethal de-escalation techniques, and again, if we didn't have cops who were just inherently traumatized. And again, I know politics are politics, but keep in mind, because I know a lot of people, the woman who shot Ogman, she was, I feel like I got her name, Veronica. She was a Spanish woman. So it's like, oh, okay, well, this can't be racist, this can't be white supremacist. No, the inherent system is white supremacy. And this is a woman who voted for Trump. This is important, okay? Because, it doesn't matter. No, it does matter when we saw what happened on January 6th, when we know that Trumpism makes people violent. And we know the amount of police officers who went down there, including Connecticut officers. Now, these are the ones we know about. So the reason why I bring up this January 6th shooting is it's very suspicious. And there's certain details I'm not going to say right now because don't let my silliness fool you. I respect my sources. But if I was ever pressed, I would throw these sources right out there, okay, to do the right thing. But I'm not going to do that now. So, from what I know, on January 6th at the Connecticut State Capitol, there was going to be a big, it's a swearing-in ceremony. That's why January 6th was going to be a shit show. And this is the planning that had been gone into months and months and months in advance. And again, this sounds like it was going to be ever a real coup, a serious coup. Don't think that. But it was certainly insurrection. It was certainly white supremacist terrorism, which again has been on an all-time rise, which is why it's important to note the people with white supremacist affiliations that work here and that are given guns and that have the power to shoot and kill. Like the woman who shot Shamar Ogman. Like John Zabuskin. Remember that Trump supporter who got in trouble because he put the Trump sticker on his laptop and it was seen in his car? Yeah, this dude's fucking gotten civilian complaints about him. He's an abusive man. He's angry. He's a violent man. He's an unstable man. And he loves Trump. I think a lot of Hartford people love Trump. Again, maybe it doesn't matter who you voted for, but who do you think Jason Thodey voted for? Jason Thodey voted for Trump. Jason Thodey believes the cops are God's chosen professions and that they need to do whatever it takes to do the right thing, to help this country from the devil. You know what I mean? So January 6th, Hartford State Capitol, they were going to have an outdoor thing. It was going to be a swearing-in ceremony. Now, I knew because of just having spent maybe 5 years, like 5 years ago, I got into it was Antifa work, but Antifa is just, it's nothingness. So I got roped into all these Antifa folk, and I was doing work with IWW, and we went to Proud Boys meetings. We did a lot. We knew a lot. We knew a lot of names. We knew a lot of names and faces. So when I recognized these names and faces starting to show up again, when they were having Stop the Steal things going on outside the Capitol, I think that maybe there's something funny going on, you know? That maybe we should worry a little bit, not a lot. But I went to the Trump rally in that banana suit. I knew the nature and the hearts of men, and I also knew that I had allies who were going to go there oblivious, who were intentionally being caught up into this almost COINTELPRO psyops trap. You know, Karen, who got spitting in the face, that was a setup. That was a setup. I've said it before. I did like a long video on it. That's a setup. And there were Boogaloo boys there. Now bear in mind, initially, the heads of the state police security, the security of the Capitol did not, they were a week before the event, a week before January 6th, they didn't even know there was going to be this big event out there that was going to draw a lot of people and a lot of trouble. They didn't even know. The only people who were going to be hired to be there on that scene were about 9 or 11 Hartford police officers, similar to when they got paid off to do safety for that Trump rally, when they were all looking like Vic Mackey standing by doing nothing as carnage was, as old ladies were falling and things were on fire and people were fighting each other. You know, they wanted that. They loved that. They're not here for public safety. They're here for the white supremacists. Not all of them. But slave catchers, overseer, officer, KRS-One. So the Hartford police that day, again, keep in mind, if the state police eventually decided, oh, yeah, we should, you know, do some security. Like Washington, D.C. maybe realized too late, oh, we should do some security. Keep in mind, you hear what I'm saying here? You hear the accusations I'm making? They're a lot worse than what I'm actually saying, and what I'm saying is pretty bad. But the Hartford police left the scene there. They left before the event even got there, because again, this shooting, this suspect, shady shooting where they shot the wrong person just so happened to happen right then and there. And a collaboration between federal, and now remember RoboCop Lawler? Remember in 2005, was it? Remember RoboCop Lawler killed Deshaun Bryant? He was a federal, it was the same thing. Cold-blooded hit. Now, RoboCop was bad enough. But what it looks like what happened on January 6th is especially bad. Because what I'm insinuating right now, and I'm saying it with broad assurity, I'll take this to a jury, and fuck the court system, but Hartford police intentionally withdrew. And whoever arranged that hit job on Enfield Street wanted security to be taken away because of people maybe that they knew in their other white supremacist networks who were there on scene that I saw with tools trying to breach the perimeter, who I saw with bulletproof vests and concealed carries, people whose names I know, people who were so suspect, they had the audacity to try to reach out to me and be like, oh, I know one of my friends is a Trump. And I'm like, listen, Mikhail Kerr, I know who you are. I saw you. I see your eyes. A mask don't cover that. I know where you work too. The brewery. I know you. You think you know me, but I know a lot of things. I know that Hartford police have a lot to answer for, and Luke Broner has a lot to answer for, and the feds have a lot to answer for, because January 6th was a stone-cold fucking assassination meant to bolster white supremacy and to allow people who wanted to go into that Capitol and kill. Again, and I mean this, and okay, it didn't happen, so we're going to let them get away with it. But no, they were going to go in and they were going to kill. They were going to kill Gillian Gilchrist. They were going to kill, oh, God, no, Robin Porter, Gary Winfield. They were going to kill people who were standing for police accountability, and that's why the police were complicit, okay? You see what's going on here? You see how fucking deep this is? And they were going to kill people who were for gun rights. That's why the gun rights, like the Connecticut Civil Defense League, connected with Joe Visconti, that corrupt motherfucker who was down there on the fucking ground, who penetrated the perimeter. Follow the money, cryptocurrency. It's hard to follow the money, but trust me, do a little dig a little deeper, you fucking feds. Oh wait, you don't want to because you're compromised too? Listen, stay woke, all right? More to come, hopefully. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Fuck the Hartford police. And it's a shame because I do mean it. Like, I think 85% of the people who are in there think they're doing the right thing, but they don't realize the belly of the beast they're in. Monstro indeed, you know.